Sally, Nick, Sabrina, you guys still here? It says 4 people, so I don't know if it's you. Whoever it is, please hit the like button, jump into the chat whenever you'd like. Going to talk today about what we found out this morning about Trump basically admitting to the police he knew about Epstein's crimes all along, which, of course, he did. Shyla, what's going on? You hear the news this morning? Nothing you'd really be surprised by, but just wondering. Sabrina Merrick, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you very, very much. Going to talk about today's news and probably something else that Trump said the other day that I keep forgetting to bring up. Oh, yeah. Well, basically, in 2007-ish, something like that, once it became, public that Jeffrey Epstein was being investigated for all these child, sex crimes, Trump called the police to ask them or to thank them. And he said, everybody knew about what he was up to all along, so he's including himself in that. Well, I can't get away from politics, Juan, because this is how I make a living. You do understand that, right, Juan? Do you? I would like to watch that, though. But you're not giving me a video name or anything. You're just telling me to watch one. Imagine that. Yeah, I know, Shiloh. And of course, the right is trying to spin this like, oh, shit, he called the cops on Epstein. He did not. He called the Palm Beach police chief or some shit and said, I just want to thank you for finally stopping this guy. And everybody knew what about his crimes, basically. I think he was saying specifically in New York, but it's called How Generation X Grew Up. That's what it's called. MAGA thinks today's news is a good thing. Go figure. Of course. Because, again, they've been trying to say for I don't know how long now that Trump helped put Epstein away, and he didn't. He didn't. Yet he was still cool with him after that, as we've already seen. Yes. All right, Juan, I'll check it out. Just to appease you, Juan, I'll check it out. I scheduled this show in advance today, which I usually don't do. I actually did it by accident. So I don't know if that's going to do anything to the algorithm or what, but it is moving very slowly, compared to how it's been. Only got 41 people. Although, if all 41 of you would hit the like button, that would be pretty dope. Or at least some of you. And subscribe, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Need subscribers to keep doing this. Have to have them. Afternoon, man, you're bald and you smoke. Wow, I know. Thanks for getting that out of the way, Victor, before 200 MAGA people had to say it. If this is a flop because of scheduling it ahead of time, I'm just gonna dip and start over. Just moving more like what it did in the beginning of this whole thing. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. Very important. Very, very important. Jump into the chat whenever you'd like. Let's start a conversation. God damn it. Let's do it. This is my first live stream of the day. Usually I've already gotten at least one in. but not today. Today I'm slacking. He's bald. Yeah, you believe it, Pepper Moon? Sucks. 77 people. Hit the like and subscribe. Shyla Spellbound Creations, $10 and tip your streamer. Thank you very much, Shyla. Yes, it would be nice if they did that too. Let me see. Pedo president. This is how the world will remember Trump. That's right. Absolutely. Because his ass Trump was doing it also. Of course he was. That's why he called the police. You know, that's the kind of shit Trump does. That's why he called the police and said, hey, I just want to thank you for stopping this guy because, you know, we all knew about his crimes, which the cop should have said, oh, really? And you didn't say anything about it. But of course he didn't. He figured by doing that, that would be his way of letting the cops know, like, hey, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm actually glad you caught the guy, you know? Stop name calling, shithead. Is that to me, Carl? All right. I will immediately. I don't know who you're talking to. I guess me. 107 people. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's moving very, very slowly today. You look like you were on the island. Do I? Well, I wasn't. So that didn't work out for you. I don't know. I could just say the same about you without even seeing your face. Hey, you know what? You look like you were on the island. What good does that do? I don't know. What the fuck you talking about? Her literally signed the order to unredact the files. What the fuck you talking about? Her literally signed the order to unredact the files. Her? Who's her? What are you talking about? Your whole chat is roasting you. That's really not. It's like two people, maybe. Do you guys have hallucinations a lot? Like, do you experience those? Because I noticed that you guys never see what's actually going on. You just say things that aren't happening. No, we're not. Yeah, no. You love Trump, huh? I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. Take five. I'm the wrong person to ask. My profile pic is an anime girl moaning. How do I look like I was on the island? You just look like a pedo. Well, then I could just say I'm married to a woman, and then that doesn't make me look like it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what your point is, dumb. I mean, do you want to talk politics or you just want to say dumb shit because your fucking scumbag president is in the files? What is it that you're pissed off about? Jesus Christ. Obviously a typo, just your thing to make mountains from molehills. Okay. All right. Oh my God, guys, I swear to God, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? Does anybody with brains know what anybody in here is talking about? Just block the people that just come here to talk shit. Just block them. Who cares about these people? Where's Carl? Carl, block the shit out of these people. I'd give Juan a wrench, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I also hate Trump. I'm just trolling. All right, then chill the fuck out, Jesus. So if you're married to a woman, that means you hate gays, does it? No. What? That's your philosophy. It is. Tell me how. I don't know, Nick. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. What are they talking about? Because I'm married, that means I hate gays. What? Not putting you out there, B. Just know it's time to go to the mattress. Thus, Orange Prick is going to try and cancel the midterms. Yeah, I know. I know he is. I looked up, and there's over 200,000 sex offenders in the USA, and over 5,000 are transgender. Yeah, I know that is actually a real stat. Yeah, so out of 200,000, 5,000. Yeah, so that means 195,000 of them aren't. You see how when you look at it from a different angle, it proves something different. Like, so 5,000 of them are trans, and 195,000 of them aren't. So what does that tell you? Does that tell you that it's more prevalent amongst non-trans people? That's why you're against trans girls in restrooms. So trans and girls restrooms. So do you believe like what I've talked about before? Do you believe that if people want to, because none of that's happening in girls restrooms anyway? I think there was a case in like Planet Fitness where something minor happened, but none of that's happening as far as that goes. So what are your concerns exactly? Because again, if a guy's going to commit that crime, you think he's going to wait for permission to go into the ladies' room so he could grape or SA somebody? That's what I mean. It's so ridiculous with some of this shit they come up with. I know it is. Fuck the ballroom. I'm with you. Well, those are the ones that they know about. Oh, and I'll say the same thing about the straight people. The ones that have been caught are just the ones they know about. Yeah. You see, guys, I mean, what are you not understanding? And 85% are right wing, according to national statistics. Is that true? Because I believe it 100%. Is that true? This guy is constantly making completely subjective, highly instigative statements. He twists the meanings and blocks anyone who makes arguments. He would have debate with real facts. He is nothing. 410-941-9850, James Henry. You ain't got to worry about nobody blocking you. You'll be on the phone. Feel free to call right now. Nobody believes a word you say, dude. And yes, it is. There's men and women's prisons. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Like what with the conversation we were just having, what do men and women's prisons have to do with it? And it doesn't matter if you believe me. You don't believe me because you're stupid. You don't have to. It's not like you have the right to say, I don't believe facts. You know what I mean? You could just decide you don't believe it, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a fact, that it's true. I mean, stupid people never know what they're talking about. So obviously, when you hear somebody speaking facts, you're going to be all confused and say, I don't believe you because you are a cult member who's brainwashed by a fucktard who paints himself orange every morning. You are. These billionaires should be held accountable and disgusting Republicans that are hiding them. I agree. Girls and women getting assaulted in restrooms because trans men are going in there. It's not happening. Well, I feel a lot has happened. It's just not reported because it puts a hole in LGBTQ. Doesn't that sound a little bit like a conspiracy theory to you? Like you'd have to believe that women who are being assaulted are not reporting it because their main concern is the LGBTQ community, even though according to you, they just got assaulted by a member of that community. So the women are just like, I'm not going to report it because I don't want to do harm to that movement. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, minor, exactly. You think those women never saw Dick Bedford Forrest? How is that major? It's rape is major, something like that. Yeah, it's minor. No one cares about trans people except MAGA. Exactly. I wish our world did not have transgenders who are all weirdos to me, but here they are dealing with the weirdo crap they do. Could you tell me why? I always ask this question, and there's so many comments. I never get the answer. Why do you wish there wasn't so many trans people? I'm curious. No. He wasn't saying, fucking dummy. Juan, he wasn't saying 85% of the transgender people are, have committed that crime. He's talking about 85% of the 195,000 people. 85% of them. And Juan, it's true, right? You know that the majority of pedophiles and stuff are white men, right? You do know that, don't you? Like what are supposed to be straight white men. So, and as far as it being a leftist thing, transgenderism, listen, it's just the leftists that will admit they're transgender. Again, don't forget something, okay? There's been more Republican politicians busted in gay sex scandals and pedophile scandals than Democrats ever in history. Okay, if you take every single fucking instance, you compare the two between both parties, it's probably 15 times more on the Republican side. I could read you a list of hundreds of names. When there's a big Republican event anywhere, Grindr crashes in that area. That means there's a lot of people looking for gay dates and stuff. One night stands with gay guys. So that would tell you right there, wouldn't it? That the majority of gay people, they're on the right. They just they won't express it because they'll be ostracized. Guarantee the majority of them are on the right. I mean, and you want to talk about trans people, and I know not all trans people are gay and all that. I know, but wasn't Caitlyn Jenner a big Trump supporter, the transgender person? I believe so. Oh my God. Democrats sat on their hands while their politicians trafficked 300 to 500,000. Do you mean 300,000 to 500,000? You dope. Because that's a pretty broad range. Anywhere between 300 and 500,000. Across the southern border for sex and cheap labor. You said it couldn't be stopped. Trump stopped it in a day. Trump stopped nothing. He just closed the border. It doesn't mean, or it was already closed, but you know what I'm saying. He tightened it up. So where do you get the number from? Especially that dumbass. You're supposed to say 300,000 to 500,000, but where do you get that number from? You just pulled it out of your ass? Guarantee it. The fact that someone would support boys and girls bathroom is a pedo. They better not make the mistake with my daughter. Oh yeah, Mark, I'm sure you're tough. I bet a trans guy would beat the shit out of you. They better not make the mistake with my daughter. Shut up, Mark. See, and that goes to show you, Mark has never seen this in his life, right? He has only heard about it happening because it's nowhere near as common as you guys think it is. And again, it's not even an issue. Nobody supports guys going to women's bathrooms. I don't like it myself, but I know it's not a serious issue to even be discussed. It's ridiculous. You guys listen to this Fox News and they fearmonger the shit out of you. They've convinced you that if you vote for Democrats, your women are going to get raped by men in dresses. It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Again, Mark, I want you to think, use your noggin, listen to me closely. If a guy wants to rape your daughter or your wife or your girlfriend, you think he's going to wait for permission to go in a ladies' room to do it? He's committing a crime that could get him life in fucking prison, but he's only going to commit that crime if he's allowed in the women's room. You know how stupid you fucking sound, you idiot? Holy shit. So dumb. And that's why you guys, you can't even name many instances of anything like this happening. Because you know why? Trans people, they go in those bathrooms and you know what they do? They go in a stall and they take a shit or a piss and then they leave. That's it. That's what happens. I can never understand Trump is talking about. He just goes all the way around in a fucking circle and don't mean anything. Yeah, and again, guys, don't start with the pedo shit like as if you're against it, okay? Because Trump is a proven pedo at this point, okay? And so is Howard Lutnick, and so is Elon Musk. And you guys have no problem with that. No problem. You'll defend him to the very end. Trump is about to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who in court never once denied that she was a pedo, a woman that was sentenced to 20 years. He's about to pardon her, okay, just so she can lie and say he didn't do anything wrong. Mark my words, he's going to pardon her. Watch. And you're fine with that. You're fine with a proven pedo, a child sex trafficker being pardoned because your guy's the one pardoning her. So you guys, there's more of a chance any of you are pedos than any of us. You know, you don't even know probably that the only reason we've seen any Epstein files are because of the Democrats. It's the only fucking reason. Look, Trump is not Biden, Clinton, and more are Chuck Schumer. Yeah, I don't think Chuck Schumer's even in the files. And Trump and Clinton are all over them. And there's no more proof Clinton did something than Trump, except, you know, Trump has a history of doing pedophilia like shit where Clinton doesn't. But let Clinton fry too, for all I care. But to say Trump is not, this is what I mean. You guys either go in complete denial or you lie through your teeth, you know, or you stay far away from any truth that's inconvenient to you. You know, so it's like, I don't want to watch this or this news network because again, they're going to tell me factually that my guy is a pedo, and I can't have that enter my right wing bubble. I can't have it penetrate my ignorance. You know what I mean? Let me see. They also got Nikki now. She's surrounded by so many pedos, not to imagine her as one too. Yeah, well, well, look at her fucking brother. He's a pedo. She destroyed her career in a matter of minutes, and I think it's hilarious. You're so full of lies, man. If they had that on Trump, it would have been released years ago. Biden said on their records for stinking years. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not true. Again, there's reasons, guys, legitimate reasons why the files weren't released. And I would say the same thing to you. If Trump had shit on the Democrats, he would have released the files. You guys are so stupid that it doesn't occur to you. Wait a minute. I can't say that Biden didn't release the files because Trump had the files before Biden and he didn't release the files. You know what I mean? Not to mention what's the only thing that's important, the guy who's president now and for the last year has gone out of his way to cover up the files because he's all over them. No, Trump did. Trump did, stupid ass. Trump did. That bust took place while Trump was president. Epstein died while Trump was president. You're in the files for sure? All right, I'm sorry to hear that. Ever try vaping? Yes. Yeah, I know. You haven't heard the files show Trump turned state's evidence to get Epstein busted. It's documented. No, it's not, Brian Evans. That never happened. God almighty, you guys. I swear to God, the alternative facts. You guys just come in here and say shit. And then when I present facts to you, you're like, nope, not true. Nope. But then you'll just say something that nobody's ever heard, Brian Evans. The files show nothing of the sort. I've seen all the Trump files. From the Epstein files. I've seen all the documents. There's nothing like that. What we found out today is that Trump, you can't see this thing up here. That's not good. What we found out today is that Trump called the police chief after it became publicly known that Epstein was going to be busted. He was being investigated for child sex crimes. And he said, hey, I just want to thank you for stopping this guy. We all knew about what he was doing for years. So he admitted he knew about Epstein's crime. So there goes your fucking theory about how he had no fucking knowledge of it. It's a fucking recorded phone call. You could listen to it. Okay. So yeah, Trump knew. And he did not in any way, shape, or form give evidence to anyone. He did not rat on anyone. He did not inform on anyone. This is in your imaginations. You say it every day, and it's never true, no matter how many times you say it. No, he wasn't. He was not. Tell me how. Tell me how. I want to know how. Tell me how Trump turned him in. Tell me exactly what happened. Because you guys know this information, nobody else in the country knows. So maybe if you fill me in, I can fill everybody else in. So tell me how it happened. How did Trump help bust Epstein? Go ahead. I'm waiting. Yeah, except Cody that the Democrats forced the vote on the House floor so that the Epstein Files Transparency Act can become a law. When 214 Democrats signed it and only 4 Republicans, it's the only reason we got what we've gotten so far is because of the Democrats. They would have never gotten 218 Republicans, never in a million years. The people that support Trump are some of the most uninformed people on the planet. They blindly support this douchebag. I know. Let me see. Anyone still in denial at this point is low IQ and or intentionally terrible person. Yes. BS ancient stuff. How about something sort of current and keep swearing and cursing? I will, Robert. It's my channel. I'll do whatever I want. And you don't have to watch it, fuckface. Nobody invited you here. That's number one. And number two, yeah, I know. You'd like it to go away because Trump's in it. Meanwhile, if those files were full of Democrats, you would say this is the most important issue in the world right now. And I believe it is. It is. Except you don't want to see it that way. It's ancient. Come on. So Trump is a pedophile. It's ancient. That's why you don't want to talk about it because it's undeniable. You guys are so disingenuous and full of shit. It's unbelievable. Tell me when Clinton turned him in. He didn't. Just like Trump didn't. What does that even mean? Who said Clinton did? These people are fucking nuts. Why are you worried about the FBI files on Epstein? Because Epstein ran a pedophile ring made up of the wealthiest elites in the country, if not the entire world, and I'm against pedophilia. David, the question is, why aren't you? Trump and Epstein are pedo buddies. They are. You're talking about us? Yeah, we flipped like what 28 House or 28 seats since November, and Democrats are killing it all over the country. And there's no question that if the elections are at all legit, Democrats are going to wipe the fucking floor with Republicans. Yeah, I know that Fox doesn't tell you this stuff, but you should figure out how to screen share. That way, when you have a point, you can look it up. And every stream can see whether it's factual or not. Why would I do that? Does any right-wing podcaster do that? No, of course not. And I know how to screen share, fuckface. I've been on YouTube for 5 years almost. Okay, I know how to screen share. But how come I spent my life, years and years, studying politics and researching and watching and listening and reading and everything else? And because you're stupid, I have to show you some source for everything I say, just so you can say it's a bullshit source. We do this every show. Trump had nothing to do with prosecuting him. These people are insane. I swear to God, I wonder if it's some sort of schizophrenia or something. They hear voices, they see things that aren't happening. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Well, it turns out a lot of people are listening to me, Bob Hauser. I've been getting like 200,000 views a day. So, yeah, a lot of people are listening to me. Because some real estate deal went sour, then Trump started throwing him under the bus to distance Epstein from himself. Pretty much, but he never worked. He never worked with the cops. There's no evidence anywhere that he ever worked with the FBI, the local police, state police, any agency to help bust Epstein. In no way, shape, or form is there ever even evidence that he gave information. Nothing. Dude, if Biden had access to the files, he could have released any and all things regarding Trump if they wanted him gone, but they didn't. Christopher Hill, if Trump wanted to ensure his victory in 2020, he could have released the files and all things regarding Democrats, but he didn't. Yeah, I know about the original Epstein case. Anyone making excuses is still with MAGA, and is still with MAGA, chooses pedos and traffickers over children, period. MAGAs choose pedo over children. They do. I know. I got to figure out a way. Look at this dummy. Look at Frank. How old are you, Frank? You call me an idiot and you can't spell "your" in the proper context. You're such a fucking dope. Where do you guys come from? Holy shit. I have yet to meet an adult in my personal life who can't tell the difference between "your" and "you are." I mean, only you fucking people. It's only MAGA. I've never seen grown people this stupid until I started doing these live streams. I got to figure out a way to get more liberals in here, so I could talk to people who have actually have some sense about them. Okay, what about them? Anybody in those files that did something wrong could go to jail or die for all I care. I don't care who they are, Democrat, Republican, I don't care. Clinton is accused right alongside of Trump in certain crimes in those files. They could both go to fucking jail. But they're going to give Ghislaine Maxwell a deal now. They're going to give her a deal. So she will say that Clinton and Trump didn't do anything wrong. And of course, it's going to be part of a deal for a pardon. So she's going to lie through her fucking teeth. She already did that once with Todd Blanche, and she got a nice, cushy new prison deal, you know? So, no. Oh, but I got to go look for it. It's out there, but you can't tell me how to find it, right, Jeremy Underhill? Go look for the video of the prosecutor saying he helped. It's out there. Anybody who finds me that video, I'll give you $100 right now. Go ahead, find that video, because it doesn't exist. That believe what? That Trump's a pedo? No, no, no. I'm pretty sure the majority of the country does. Anybody with brain, anybody who's not part of a cult believes it. You realize that, right? Like it's only you guys. Nobody's as ignorant and stupid as you people are. You've decided, you made a conscious decision in life to throw everything else away, your dignity, your pride, your self-respect, your love of your spouses, your children, the people around you, everything you're supposed to care about, so you could fucking finally be part of something. And now you're part of this ridiculous Nazi fucking movement that's filled with pedos. And no matter what we show you, even if a video comes out of Trump raping a 6-year-old, you'll still defend him because you don't even stand against pedophilia if it means in some way, shape, or form going against Donald Trump. Okay, bye. Who gives a fuck? Dems did nothing for years. Yeah. Do you know how much stuff Dems are responsible for, you dope? Do you know how much stuff just Joe Biden alone did? Yeah. Okay, Cheryl, do I have to go over the whole explanation that this is my job again? You fucking dummy, you stupid bitch. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. So what should I be talking about? If my channel is about Trump, should I not be talking about Trump? So if my channel was about gardening, should I talk about football instead? Or are you stupid? He doesn't. He doesn't. And just for 1/10 of the shit he's been caught up in, he would have been fired from any job in America. But because of these jerk offs who don't believe anything. Yeah, I know. Because of them who don't believe anything negative about Trump because they just don't want to. This fucktard gets to stay in power and pedophiles get to go free. They should, all of them. Yeah. And I don't know if it'll ever be completely unredacted, but some Democratic House members and stuff got to see the unredacted files, and they're going to go back tomorrow and see more. And hopefully there'll be a hearing soon and they'll tell us everything they found. But they've redacted the names of the so-called list, the people who worked with Epstein and trafficked these girls, a global network, and they've redacted the names, not the names of the victims, just the names of the perpetrators, because the Republican Party is the party of pedophilia, and they're going to do anything to protect their own guys and their donors, period. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And of course, the Clintons want to testify in public, like live on TV, and the Republicans don't want to allow that. They want to do it in a private, so then they could just make up whatever they want and say, oh, they said this, or this. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. Very important. And if you don't mind, the good guys, remember, I'm only talking to the good guys who, are on the right side of things and, most likely agree with me. Please send a super chat if you can, or a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, just to support the channel. I'd appreciate it. You're unemployed. Yeah, he did it again. That would be YOU_RE, Frank. How am I unemployed? You know how much money I make a year, you stupid ass? You have any idea? I bet you my sneaker collection, Frank, is worth more than everything you own. How much you want to bet? I bet you still defend drag queens reading to kids. I don't see the need for it at all. But again, I know it's not a big issue. It doesn't matter. My daughter had this shit when she was in elementary school. I didn't like the idea of it, so I went there. And you know what I saw? I saw a person dressed in a costume reading books to kids. Nobody was trying to indoctrinate anyone or recruit them or anything. And that's when I realized, oh, I'm an idiot for ever thinking this is something, evil, like this is something bad that's here that's taking place to hurt our children. But again, I don't see the need for it. I don't know why they got to let drag queens do that when they could just have anybody do it. But I know that it's not a big deal. Here's the problem. Okay. You guys hate everyone. I got to give this speech on a lot of shows. You hate everyone. And the reason is your lives are fucking miserable. Okay. You're the angriest, dumbest, sickest, poorest people in America. And you're pissed off about it. God forbid you ever take accountability for your actions and have to face that you're the reason your life sucks. You'll never do that. So it's everybody else's fault. Trans people, drag queens. I don't even know if there's a difference. I'm so uneducated in that area. gay people, Muslims, Mexicans, black people, anybody you can blame for your fucking problems. Same thing Trump does. Trump breaks the law constantly, and then when he gets prosecuted, he says he's being persecuted. Meanwhile, he broke the law. That's the problem with you guys. All you care about is this man. It is so bizarre. And then you guys talk about being straight. Bro, listen, man. I wouldn't defend my father the way you defend this guy. I wouldn't defend my brother the way you defend this guy. Thanks, Rob. I will. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's unbelievable that you'll sacrifice any dignity or self-respect you have and make yourself look like a complete asshole so you could defend a guy who hates your fucking guts. Donald Trump would never defend you. He doesn't care about you. He would never shake your hand. Never. In a million years. Now, there you go. Heather would like it. Terrible father? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just not hateful of everybody, Brandon. And I wouldn't raise my daughter to be like one of you. Never, never. You guys raise your kids to be racist and to hate every fucking buddy. I would never do that with my kid. Never, 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 never. I say leave people alone until they bother you. Once they bother you, do whatever you want. But don't get in people's fucking business. It's none of. Didn't any of your parents ever tell you to mind your own fucking business? Any of you dolts? Anybody? Did anybody in your lives ever say, don't worry about what other people are doing, especially if they're not having any negative effect on your life? Just live your life and let them live theirs. You can't do it. You walk around hating people. And then you tell me on this show, I'm so worked up, I'm going to have a heart attack or a stroke. My life is the shit. I'm at peace 95% of the time. Only when I'm talking to you guys do I start to stress out because it's like talking to a fucking wall. But you guys, I mean, the hatred, the anger, oh my God. Meanwhile, you don't even realize you're getting fucked over by your own people. You guys live in the least educated, poorest, sickest states in the country. In other words, with the worst health care. And you keep voting for Republicans. So you remain stupid, sick and poor. And you blame the Democrats and people on welfare and whoever else you want to point the finger at, illegals and Muslims and Mexicans, just so you don't have to take responsibility for the fact that you're poor because, quite frankly, you're not motivated enough to do anything with yourself. And number two, even if you were, you've put yourself in a situation where you keep voting against your own best interest. So anybody that would help you get out of that situation, you're completely and totally 100% against. I mean, you guys are so ass backwards. You know nothing. You know nothing. It's amazing. You don't even know why you're in this position you're in life. You don't know. Sabrina Merrick, $2. Mexican friend knows the difference between your. Yes. Thank you for the $2. Dude thinks grown homosexual man dressing up as women and wanting to be around children is totally fine. Haha, you're a clown. So you're assuming that they're all gay? Let me ask you something. Does being gay make you a pedophile? Because that's what you're insinuating. Now, to me, a grown homosexual man is a guy that's into grown homosexual men. But to you, it means they're pedophiles. Why is that? Why is that? Yes, Moscow. Yeah, well, you drink every fucking day or every weekend or do some lines or smoke a rock. Yeah, I smoke cigarette. I quit fucking cocaine and alcohol cold turkey 6.5 years ago. Leave me the fuck alone. Please, you're the sickest people in the country. You're giving advice to me about fucking health, you dummies. 55 and retired, so eat a dick. Yeah, just because you stopped looking for a job at 55 doesn't mean you're retired. Just means you gave up. Oh my God. Trump threw Epstein in jail. No, he didn't. Trump released the files. It was about Trump. Wouldn't the dirty Dems release the files to hurt him? Now, if this was about Trump, guys, something that'll drive a person crazy, like nothing else, is constantly having to teach stupid people simple, commonly known facts, like as if they're 5 years old. Okay. You can look this up. Look it up. During Biden's administration. And by the way, I could say the same thing to you. If all these Democrats were in the files, like you guys swore up and down about, Comet Pizza and all that weird conspiracy shit you fucktards are into, Trump would have released the files and ensured a 2020 election win. You know what I mean? There's no question about it. But he didn't, right? Now, let me tell you why Trump and Biden. Now, Trump wouldn't have released them even if he could, because he's all over them. Biden's not in them. So he had nothing to worry about. There's not many Democrats in them, period. It's mostly Republicans. So it's not them that are worried. I'm going to explain this whole thing to you, and let's see if you actually listen and learn something. And guys, please hit the like and subscribe. It's very important. Look at what I got to deal with. If you're a good guy and you know I'm right, even if you don't like my language, just hit the like and subscribe as a way to tell them to go fuck themselves, please. I'd appreciate it. And donate if you can. Super chat, super sticker, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. So, yes. Brondo, yes, absolutely. I told you, I'll tell you what I tell people on every show. I will bring you guys to neighborhoods all over America and cities all over America, and I will show you people that are armed to the fucking teeth, that lost their Second Amendment right altogether years ago, and they would love to be able to legally blow your fucking Klansmen heads right off. You know what I mean? People that have actually used their guns. Let me explain something to you, Brondo. There's people that collect guns, and then there's people that use guns. You guys collect guns. Nobody's afraid of any of you. Believe me. Let me get to this. Now, Trump wouldn't have released them anyway, but the bottom line is he couldn't have, because they didn't become available really to be released until July of 2025. So in Trump's first term, he had the files, but he couldn't release them. Ghislaine Maxwell was being prosecuted. There were still ongoing investigations. People were still calling the FBI with information, and there was ongoing litigation and all types of shit going on in the courts because of the Epstein files, especially with Ghislaine Maxwell's case. Now, when Biden took over, same exact thing was happening. Ghislaine then got convicted under Joe Biden. Okay. She immediately went on appeal. You can't release court files when the person, the defendant in the case, is in an ongoing appeal. Her last appeal wasn't exhausted until 2025. The first time it became okay for anybody to release the files is Pam Bondi in July 2025 said, the case is closed. No more investigations. Boom. That's why. Didn't you notice? Take a look back when the Epstein files being released became such a big deal on the left. July 2025, when Pam Bondi said the case is closed and now they could be released. Okay. Then Trump got so fucking scared, he had Mike Johnson shut down the House because Democrats were trying to force a vote on the Epstein files. Meanwhile, Trump could have released them anytime he wanted. We didn't need to pass a law. Trump's the president. All he had to do was say, DOJ, Pam Bondi, release the files. And she could have done it. But he refused, and he refused, and he refused. So Democrats kept pushing for the release of the Epstein files, and Ro Khanna, a Democrat, and Thomas Massie, a Republican, authored a discharge petition. This discharge petition needed 218 signatures in order to force a vote on the House floor. Okay, couldn't happen before then. So they had, I believe, 4 Republicans and 213 Democrats. Mike Johnson kept shutting down the House. Okay, they were only I don't even know. They were only open the House last year it was a few months or some shit. He kept shutting it down, and at one point he shut it down for 50 days because Adelita Grijalva, a woman that won in Arizona, a House seat, okay, was going to be the 218th signature on the discharge petition. Now, while all this was going on, and they knew Adelita Grijalva was going to be sworn in and she was going to be that 218th signature, Donald Trump told Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you sign that petition, it's a hostile act. Why would Trump say that? Then he told Lauren Boebert, he brought her into a secret meeting and literally begged her, and you could find the videos of her saying this, literally begged her to take her name off of the petition because he didn't want the files released. And she said, fuck that. She kept her name on the petition. After 50 days of the House being shut down for the second time for this very reason, Adelita Grajova was finally sworn in when Mike Johnson couldn't stall any longer, and she became the 218th signature on the discharge petition. Because of that, there was a vote on the House floor. And then after it passed in the House, it went to the Senate. Now, the Republicans didn't want to release the files. Mike Johnson tried to be slick and get a private vote in overnight so that nobody had to go on record as voting against the release of the Epstein files, because that's politically destructive as could possibly be. Okay. They refused. They said, no. We're going to have a vote. The Democrats, they said, we're going to have a vote in public. Okay. So for everybody to see, and you're going to have to go on record with your vote. So the Republicans in the House said, fuck it, Trump, sorry, but we're signing it. Then they went to the Senate. Trump tried to stop the Senate Republicans from signing it, but they said the same thing. This will end our political careers, so we're voting for it. Then it went to Donald Trump's desk, and he had one of two choices. Sign it and make himself look somewhat innocent, or don't sign it, and then everybody, even some of you stupid motherfuckers, would be like, holy shit. The guy, he could release the Epstein files, and he refuses, which, by the way, he could have done that all along. Okay. So he chose to sign it and just stall and redact and redact and redact. And that's what he did. We only have the Epstein files now because of the Democrats. Okay. That's it. Trump had no choice. It became a law. Trump signed it into law himself. He had no choice. The Epstein Files Transparency Act is a law. Fuck you, Jason. Is a law. I just told you, Doug. Were you listening to anything I said? Because Trump had no choice. No choice. The midterms are coming up. If he would have said, no, I'm not signing it, then he would be the one and only reason the Epstein files aren't coming out, which, again, he already was. You guys just aren't bright enough to know that. So he signed it because he had no fucking choice. And then they missed the December 19th deadline. After a couple of weeks, they released 12,000 files or some shit, 75% of which were redacted. And the redacted ones, they were supposed to, testify as to why anything was redacted, because the Epstein Files Transparency Act said no redactions. And it still says that, yet they redacted the majority of every fucking document in the Epstein files. Okay. So it just went too far, and he was getting pressure from Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna. Todd Blanche was constant. The Department of Justice was under pressure, so they released 3 million files, most of which are redacted. Now, there's still 3 million files, and Todd Blanche, who just happens to be Donald Trump's ex-defense attorney, and now Deputy Attorney General, said, we're not releasing the other 3 million. So we're just not. So you still didn't get all the Epstein files. And Trump right now could say, no, Todd, release them all, and they all get released. Simple as that. Yes, because let me explain something to you, Kogard. There's those of us like myself and the smart people in the chat that we research and learn things. Okay, I know you guys aren't incapable of learning, but we learn things, right? So one thing we know, because anybody with common sense would know this. Trump could have released the Epstein files any day after Pam Bondi made that announcement. Any fucking day. Okay? You guys don't know any of this shit. You don't know anything. Look at you. Everything you come into the chat and say is wrong. You're one stupider than the next. Okay? And so with you guys, everything's got to be spelled out for you, unless it's plain and simple and it doesn't take any critical thinking or knowledge or complexity to your thought or anything like that. You won't figure it out. Okay. You won't, it's got to be spelled out right in front of you. So we all know Trump was blocking the release of the Epstein files, but when it went to his desk, it would have been undeniable if he didn't sign it. You guys, that you would have understood. I know you don't understand much, but you would have understood. You would have said, oh, All he had to do was sign it, but he didn't. And the midterms are coming up. So there you go. So yeah, he would have looked guilty if he didn't sign it. But yes, he's still guilty. No question about it. No question. It's just you guys. You got to realize he's never talking to us, the left. When he's talking or when he's doing anything, he knows we're too smart for him. That's why he ran as a Republican. He knew Democrats are too smart to ever vote for a guy like him. Just his affairs alone throughout his lifetime would have disqualified him from having a fucking chance at becoming a Democratic president, which, by the way, he was a Democrat his whole life. So I'm sure he would have preferred that. But he didn't stand a chance. The right has no morals whatsoever. So he knew he could win as a Republican. And he knows you guys are stupid. He says it all the time. He said in front of tens of thousands of you, we won with the poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. He also said this, and you could look it up if you're going to try to say it's out of context. Look up on YouTube. Trump says smart people don't like me.
Smart people don't like me.
All right.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about.
Okay, so he knows you guys are dumb. He knows that. So he knows he could get away with 90% of what he's doing, but some shit is so obvious right out in the open that even you guys would figure it out. Like, for example, when he came out and he said, there are no Epstein files. After years of telling you that there's really bad things in them and he's going to release them if he wins. In June of 2025, he came out and said there are no Epstein files. And for about 5 minutes, you guys actually got mad at him. So you know what he did? He pulled another stunt you're too, unintelligent to figure out. He went to a judge and he asked the judge to release not the Epstein files, because that was up to him, just the grand jury testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell's case. The judge said no, because Ghislaine Maxwell was still under appeal. So you guys saw that and you ran around all confident talking about how Trump tried to release the Epstein files, but a judge shot it down, when in reality, that's not at all what happened. That's not at all what happened. God almighty. Jason, I got to get you on here sometime just so you could do all the talking. You want to join me, Jason? Jason, why don't you call in? Holy shit. MAGA is a complete cult circus. It is. Yeah, Bones. I mean, that's what I mean by when I say you guys are stupid. That's what I mean. Like, let me tell you what would happen if Trump dropped out of, well, let's just say he could run again and he dropped out. J.D. Vance would become the nominee. Period. That's it. There wouldn't be a primary. J.D. Vance would become the nominee. If Trump died right now, J.D. Vance would become the new president. If Biden would have died, Kamala would have became the new president. When Biden dropped out, there was 107 days till the election. How are they going to hold a primary? Just out of curiosity, how long would the primary have been? 3 months? So they would have had about 17 days to run for president, the nominee. 3 months, you think? That 107 days. And Kamala is, of course, as vice president, the natural choice. Plus, the DNC has rules for how they pick a nominee in a situation like that. And it does not require a primary. It just doesn't. She went to the DNC and she got the delegates' votes. That's it. She became the nominee. She got the delegates' votes. Those are the votes you always forget about. So fucking goofy. My God. I love when leftists pretend that they didn't call Pizzagate a hoax until January of 2025, until they thought they could use it against Trump. I love when leftists pretend they didn't call Pizzagate a hoax until January of 2025, until they thought they could use it against Trump. Pizzagate, it wasn't even a hoax. It was a stupid conspiracy theory amongst you fucking morons. You think Pizzagate is real now? What are you talking about? What? Pizzagate? That was you, Alex Jones, viewers, you lunatics who listened to that fucking clown, that mental patient. That was a fucking bullshit conspiracy theory you guys came up with, which of course was proven to be complete and total bullshit. And you think that somehow we believe in Pizzagate now? Well, he tried to do it, without an executive order. He could have done an executive order, but the bottom line is, Big Durf, what you forget, because I know you don't want to put any blame on Trump, is that the Republicans and the Democrats came together and authored a bill that would fund, Customs and Border Control and ICE, and make it so that more judges could be hired to speed along the asylum process and shit like that. And Donald Trump told Republicans, shoot it down, because it was an election year and Donald Trump needed to win the election. And without the border to run on, we'd have President Harris right now. If you don't believe me, listen to the top Republicans.
The problem is the Republicans, not the Democrats. We know how the Democrats are going to vote. It's too many of my Republican colleagues are unwilling to vote to secure the border.
First, there was an effort to make law, which requires you to deal with Democrats. And then our nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all. That took months.
Everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes.
It was painful to be able to watch. It got stirred up in all the presidential politics, and several of my colleagues started looking for ways. After President Trump said, don't fix anything during the presidential election. It's the single biggest issue during the election. Don't resolve this.
That's on Donald Trump, Senator. Not Democrats.
Right.
That's how much Trump actually cares about the border. He just needed it to run on. He didn't give a shit if there was 100 million illegals let into the country. He didn't care. So that's how much he cared about the border issue. I can't believe there's somebody here who thinks that the left believes in Pizzagate. Oh my God. Never. Alex Jones. That's what you listen to. Mouthy Buddha. It's not bullshit. It was all covered up. In other words, it's all bullshit. You can't prove anything, so you say it was covered up. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's Pizzagate. You're so stupid. I mean, you think they were running a pedo ring, a cabal of Democrat elites running a pedo ring out of a pizza parlor basement. The most powerful people in the world, that's where they choose to, make their headquarters. I mean, you guys are fucking too stupid for your own good. How do you tie your own shoes? Yeah, okay, Brondo, whatever you say. Yeah, you know me well. You don't know my name. You don't know anything about me. Just make assumptions. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're a fucking jerk off who's hidden behind a fake name and an avatar of a bee. So, You, sir, can you please answer? Yes, sir. Can you please answer my question? Where are you from and what do you do for a living? Respectfully speaking, Dr. MSRKJ Maser, New York. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from New York originally, but I've been in Pennsylvania a very long time. So you might as well say I'm from here. And I do this for a living. My channel has been on here almost 5 years. I started this channel about mafia history. I interviewed Hollywood celebrities that acted in the movies like A Bronx Tale and Goodfellas and The Irishman and all kinds of shit, including The Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, stuff like that. I interviewed major cast members from all those movies and shows, pretty much the entire cast of A Bronx Tale. I brought a lot of former mob guys to this community so they could tell their stories, guys that were actually in the mafia at one point, stuff like that. And I've made a literal fuck ton of money off of it. But this is extremely important now. And I happen to be slightly knowledgeable about politics. I'm sorry. So I thought, why don't I just start doing politics shows too? And it worked out. I've gained like 4,000 subs in the last 2 months. And like just in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten like 1.6 million views and stuff. So, yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, BX Pharaoh. I do. Let me just make one thing clear to you, man. I am not a Trump supporter like that, okay? I'm very critical of both parties, see? Staying neutral allows me to do that. You're just calling people stupid. But why am I doing that, Big Durf? You realize I spent years of my life learning all this shit. That's why I could tell you stuff off the top of my head. And anything you ask me about, I can show you proof of it. because I don't just say bullshit. This is stuff I know to be true. I come into these shows. Every show starts the same. I'm nice and calm. I'm not cursing anybody out. I'm just talking. And as soon as people see what's up at the top here, I'm a libtard and my wife's a whore and my mother's a cunt and every fucking thing else. And it's like, oh, okay, you want to play that game? I'm not a liberal, bro. I'm not a liberal. I lived a pretty, I lived a different life. Let's just say that. Okay. I'm not the kind of guy who takes shit from people. So if you're calling me all kinds of fucking names, I'm going to do the same to you, except I'm better at it. I don't just say you're bald, you smoke. No, I could bring any one of you up on this panel right now and I could roast you into therapy. There's no question about it. So that's what I do. I give what I get. If I get respect, I give respect. If I get insulted, you're getting insulted back. That's all. And by the way, Big Durf, you have to understand when I say they're stupid, they are. It's not my opinion. The red states in this country are the least educated states with the highest levels of poverty, the highest rates of violent crime, and they're last in healthcare, so they're fucking sick too. If you look at the 2024 electoral map, the least educated states in this country, the states with the least amount of high school graduates, college graduates, people with advanced college degrees. What was I saying? If you look at the red states, yeah, they have the least amount of those. Okay. They do have things like the highest teen pregnancy rate and stuff like that. Okay. But that's a fact. So when you look at the 2024 electoral map, you'll see that those dumb, poor, sick states all voted for Trump, all of them. Whereas with Kamala, the most educated, the states with the most people with high school diplomas, college degrees, advanced college degrees, they voted for Kamala. And the wealthiest, by the way, the wealthiest states. That's a fact. That is not my opinion. So you could call me every name in the book, and I'm always going to come back with you're stupid, because it's not like, you guys throwing some ridiculous idiot insult like, oh, you look like a pedo. No, that's your stupid way of insulting me. When I say you're stupid, it's because you're stupid. It's not my fucking opinion. It's a fact. I mean, I'm not saying there are no individuals from those states that are smart, but none of them ever come into these chats. I'll tell you that fucking much. Thanks, Clarence. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe, everybody. I'd appreciate it very, very much. And don't be afraid to send a super chat. Have some class, guys. Contribute to the show, especially you people on the left, because come on. You're supposed to be the classy people, the good people, the smart people. Show me some support so I can keep doing these shows and annihilating fucktards. Thank you. Pizzagate in its original conception isn't remotely true. However, Epstein files show that pedophile rings utilize pizza-based code words. Yeah, I haven't seen anything of the sort. I think you're just making that up. Steve Bannon is in the Epstein records working with 4chan. He planned Pizzagate and QAnon. See? I mean, you guys, you buy into it's so funny because facts, things that are rock solid facts, they totally escape you. You're not you couldn't recognize a fact if it slapped you in the fucking face. What did I say? Recognize a what? Recognize a fact. Yeah, I think that's what I said. You couldn't. But you are so prone to believing nonsense. I mean, nobody can convince you that, say, Trump is a sexual deviant his whole life when all we have is evidence that he absolutely is and was. But you can be convinced that there's a cabal of Democrats that run a fucking pedo ring out of a pizza parlor basement. You can be convinced that Joe Biden wasn't really president for 4 years, that it was Trump, and we were actually watching a movie, and Trump was going to pop back up any day and save us. This is the kind of stuff you guys believe. You're so susceptible to bullshit. That's what makes you Trump supporters. Trump looks at you every day and says, I'm going to lower your prescription drug cost by 1,500%. And you believe him when it's mathematically impossible to do that. He's lying right to your faces, but it's Trump saying it, therefore you believe it. Unreal. Well, then he's confused at the very least, Alan. No bright people, good bright people are Trump supporters. When you are neutral, you can see the hypocrisy on both sides. Yeah, but you can't compare. I could see it on both sides, but there's no comparison between the right and the left anymore. There's not. You guys talk about the left, they went crazy, and to some extent, they went too far. But the right, it's a party of lunatics. It's a party where you just saw clips of top leading Republicans telling you that although Republicans authored a bill that they wanted to be passed, they authored it right along with Democrats. The guy who wasn't even president at the time, but holds his political futures in their hands, was able to stop them from voting for their own fucking bill. I mean, they become a party of one. They're all insane. They're all cult members. We have people on the Supreme Court that are cult members, just like some of you. Yes, Chris was very critical of Obama and Biden when they were presidents as well. Oh, yeah. I don't care about Democrats. Guys, I don't care about politicians. It's you guys. You project onto us. So you think we'll defend Biden no matter what. Fuck that. For what? Why? Biden doesn't give a shit about me. And Trump doesn't give a shit about you. You just haven't figured that out yet. Okay, why don't you call me, chap, and we'll debate. 410-941-9850. Tell me, come show me how I know nothing. You wouldn't pussy out, would you? After talking shit. Tony Velez, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Oh, God, these people. That why Trump president and you are a stupid liberal. That why Trump president? All right. Trump is your daddy. Here's another guy. Look, balls deep. Jason, I'll give this speech just one time during this show. You got to remember, I have nothing against gay people. But you guys might be the gayest group of people I've ever seen in my fucking life. The people at gay pride parades aren't as gay as Trump supporters. You guys are constantly coming into this chat with gay sex fantasies. You know what I mean? And you call a grown man your daddy, Jason. I never called a man daddy, not even my father. Never. Even when I was 4, I knew it was gay. Never would I call a man daddy, and you call him daddy, and you talk about taking it balls deep. Don't project your shit onto me, sir. Okay, ma'am. Hey now, $20. Look, everyone a liberal getting money. Fuck Trump. Yeah, how about that? That'll piss him off. Thank you. Hey now, I appreciate you. Somebody post this guy's address. Yeah, what the fuck are you going to do? Get killed, Oz? What's your plan? You think I'm worried about you? Really? You think? You believe shit from the last decade, you dumb fuck. You thought Biden was mentally fit. You're a dumb fucking piece of shit. No, I did not in any way, shape, or form think he was mentally fit. I just know that Trump is as bad, if not worse, than Joe Biden. I know it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's mentally fit. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. I need to get a lot of subs today, so if you're a good guy, just subscribe. And don't be afraid to donate. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal is in the chat. And the super chats or super stickers, you know where they are.
But you got to...
Yeah, he's mentally fit. Fit for a fucking insane asylum. Oh, God, TDS in full effect. That's right, Jason. Talk about the files, not Trump. What do you want to talk about? Today, we found out that Trump called the police chief in 2007 only after it was made publicly known that, or was made public that Epstein was being investigated for child sex crimes. He called the police chief and he said, I just want to thank you for doing, a good job in stopping this guy, because we all knew what he was up to for years. So there's Trump admitting that he knew what Epstein was all about, even when he was friends with him. Also, there's an email from the Epstein files from 2017, December 29th, 2017, where Trump said, or Epstein said, basically that they were at dinner with Donald Trump the night before. Yeah. Yeah, I know that's crazy, right? A guy doing a talk show talking. I mean, that's nuts, Matt. You're right. The show would be much better if I just sat here. That's how stupid they are. I'm doing a talk show. The guy's like, this guy talks so much. Yeah. He lost me when he said red states are the highest in crime. Oh, all right. Well, here. That's the good thing about facts, brother, is I don't have to worry about proving them to you. I'll just show you. What states have the highest rates of violent crime?
According to safehome.org, according to the latest FBI data, New Mexico, Alaska, and Tennessee had the highest violent crime rates, and Maine, New Hampshire, and Connecticut had the lowest. Louisiana has the highest murder rate of all 50 states, as well as the nation's fourth highest aggravated assault rate.
How'd that work out for you? States with the lowest violent crime rates. Maine, New Hampshire, God damn it, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Hawaii, Wyoming. Mississippi, there's one. Vermont, New Jersey, and Kentucky is 10th. That's somewhat low violence. So let me see if I can get a full list. Can I have a full list of the states with the highest rates of violent crime? DC, which isn't a state, Alaska, New Mexico, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, California, Missouri, Kansas. I mean, guys, come on, man. Come on. It's true. It's true. They have the highest rates of violent crime. You want to talk about blue cities? Sure. But the problem is, in your argument, is that, the red states, even if in some of those states, even if you take away the blue cities, they have the highest rates of violent crime per capita because of the red rural areas. And I'll explain again why that is. Yeah, Chicago, well, Illinois isn't even in the top 10. No, neither is New York. No. Okay. So, because they have the lowest levels of education, okay, and high poverty levels and extremely easy access to guns, that's why it's the red rural areas, right along with the blue cities, that make it so those states have the highest rates of violent crime. Like you could go to New York and New York City, the 5 boroughs might be dangerous, but actually by population per capita, they're still not as dangerous as a lot of these places. But still, if it was just the blue states, New York would be one of the top ones, right? But it's not, because anywhere outside of New York City, not anywhere, but I mean, the majority of the state, there's not a high rate of violent crime per capita. Whereas in states like Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, there's very high rates of violent crime throughout the state. Look, Kentucky Life says, who cares? Well, it was literally like something I was asked that prompted me to say that. So the people in the chat do. You are delusional, homie. Tell me how, Byron. That's the stupidest way I ever saw Byron spelled. Tell me how. Not true. Yeah, you just literally heard it with your own ears, but it's not true. Okay. Liberals can't stand actual facts, except I give you facts and I prove to you they're facts, and you still say they aren't facts. Holy shit. I'm Republican and I'm listening. Well, good. Yeah, he was. Let me see. I got a super chat up here somewhere. Franny 4147, yours and my secrets 149 super sticker. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Chat GPT isn't a source. Well, it's a good thing that wasn't Chat GPT, but here's the way it goes. Anything I give you that gives you the same answer, you're going to say it's not a good source. I've done this with Grok too. Grok is literally Elon Musk's AI. And she'll give you the same exact answer. ChatGPT, Grok, Google, it doesn't matter. But when it's something you don't want to hear, If it's something you don't want to hear, it's a bullshit source. Now, if I ask Google, because you'll say that from Google right there is bullshit. Google's a bullshit source. But if I ask Google, is there any proof Donald Trump was ever on Epstein Island? It's going to tell me no, because there isn't. And then that you'll believe, right? Even though Google's a bullshit source, you'll believe that because that sounds good to you. That's why none of you are taken seriously. In the beginning, when I was doing these fucking shows, I would show you 3-4 different fucking sources. I would use all different AI search engines. And then I realized that if it's something you don't like, you're going to deny it. It doesn't matter where you hear it. It doesn't matter if you read, you could read crime statistics on government websites. You know that, right? On the FBI website, stuff like that. But I guess that's a bullshit source too. If it's telling you that your states are the most dangerous, they are. They're the most dangerous states in the country. The red states. It's just a fact. And the dumbest, 9 out of the 10 least educated states in this country are red states. And the other one is New Mexico, which is purple, basically. So, Jesus. All the white states are the most dangerous. Biden was just as corrupt as Trump. Well, I'm glad you admit Trump was corrupt, but could you tell me how? Because a Republican House Oversight Committee investigated Joe Biden, a Republican House Oversight Committee, and they cleared him of any wrongdoing. But Trump was impeached twice. They wouldn't even vote to impeach Biden, the Republicans, because they knew they wouldn't have the votes. But Trump got impeached twice. Nick Overman, 499 thoughts on Obama ignoring Congress and bombing Pakistan, innocent lives lost. I have a lot of problems with Obama's 8 years in office. I think his drone program was horrendous. I didn't like that at all. A lot of innocent people died. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't even remember it that well, Nick, but it's probably something else I wouldn't agree with. If innocent lives were lost, unless it was a necessary bombing. I told you, I know you guys might think I do, but I don't really defend Democrats. I'll only defend them in comparison to Republicans. You know what I mean? Because there's, it's insane to compare the Republicans of today to the Democrats of today. But thank you, Nick Overman, very much for the $4.99. I appreciate anybody who contributes. You guys are awesome. Everybody in power knew that guy's crimes, but they were all participants. Well, how do we know that? Hold on, let me see. I just lost the comment I wanted to read. So what's your point? So let's just say Joe Biden's racist. First of all, we weren't even talking about racism. You guys are so fucking bizarre the way you're programmed, and you got to be a bot, right? I'm assuming you're a bot. Yeah, Biden's probably racist. Now, let me ask you something. Does that make Trump's racism better? Like let's just say I give in to you guys when you call Biden a pedo, and I say, okay, Biden's a full-blown pedo. What does that have to do with the current president of the United States being a pedo? Does it make it better? Is that okay then? Is Trump okay if Biden was a pedo too? See how that works? I don't care, bro. I'm not going to sit here and defend Joe Biden. He's 900 years old and he's a white man in America. I'd be shocked if he wasn't racist. He pardoned himself and his family. There's nothing they could do to Biden. He didn't pardon himself. He did not pardon himself. You could check it out. They didn't clear him. They literally said he was too old and couldn't remember shit to be brought to trial. Jordan Carney, that's 100% false. You cannot find one incredible source that says that because it was never said. That's what I mean about you guys just throwing bullshit in the chat. That was never said. Never. You guys have been saying that for so fucking long. And I'll ask you for a source and you won't have one. The Republicans just found no wrongdoing. It was a Republican House Oversight Committee, Democrats and Republicans. And they came to the conclusion that there was just nothing to charge him with. That's why they wouldn't even take a vote on impeaching him. You think they're going to let it go because a guy's too old and can't remember shit? Why would that happen? If I kill somebody and when I'm 99 years old, if they could prosecute me, they're going to. You know what I mean? Republicans, especially as vindictive as Trump is, and he led the Republicans for the last 11 years or so. You think he would have just let Biden slide because he's too old, feeble-minded. Yeah. Biden was just a demented old man with good intentions. He was slightly demented, but look at this, guys. Watch this. Listen to the answer Trump gives.
Okay, please, in the back.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News Channel. Mr. President, is there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here? Days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator Alcatraz.
I'm going to spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I want to, for 4 years, I've got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it, it's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly, I will tell you that. But even when it wasn't, it was still the Oval Office, so it meant a lot. But I'll spend as much time as I can here. My vacation is generally here because it's convenient. I live in Palm Beach. It's my home. And I have a very nice little place, nice little cottage to stay at, right? But we have a lot of fun, and I'm a big contributor to Florida, pay a lot of tax. And a lot of people move from New York, and I don't know what New York is going to do. A lot of people moved to Florida from New York, and it was for a lot of reasons, but one of them was taxes. The taxes are so high in New York, they're leaving. I don't know what New York's going to do about that, because some of the biggest, wealthiest people and some of the people that pay the most taxes of any people anywhere in the world, for that matter, they're moving to Florida and other places. So we're going to have to help some of these states out, I think. But thank you very much. I'll be here as much as I can.
Yeah. See, I'll give in that Joe Biden had some serious issues, but you guys will look at that and you'll make excuses for him, right? Let me guess, he didn't hear the question correctly? Yeah. Even though it was asked twice. Obama giving Iran $8 billion on his way out. Well, this is what I mean about it. This is why you guys got to research and you got to learn some things eventually. That money was Iran's money. We had their money frozen, basically. Okay. So after, I believe it was the Iran nuclear deal, he just gave them their money back. Not a dollar of that was the US's money. You can look it up right now. Look it up right now. And come back and tell me what you found. All they did was give Iran their own money back. That's it. More misinformation is more readily available than ever before. Misinformation, people can't tell for themselves what is true or not, so they just go with what feels good to them. Yes, what MAGA does, yes. Yeah, Chris Pierce. And those are cities. We were talking about states. And the state is the overall, that's really the stat you should be looking at, because big cities have more people, so they're going to have more crime. It's looking at things per capita. Okay, so when you take a whole state, for example, and you say, okay, what's the crime rate in these states? What you'll find out is per capita, those states have the highest crime rates. The red states. I mean, I just read the states to you. He never reported him. There's no proof of that. It's something you guys say. His mother can shoot and kill his wife, and he'll still say it was Trump. You talking about me? I know that's what you guys got to convince yourselves of, but it's the exact opposite. It's like if you saw Trump on video raping a little girl, you would just deny it. I give Trump credit for like releasing the hostages recently or getting them released. The First Step Act, even though I have my issues with it, I give him credit for that. Operation Warp Speed, I give him credit for. So when he does something good, I give him credit for it. Let's talk about this murder rate, because you're dead wrong. MIYOUR, dead wrong, Jordan Carney. You're real bright. I see you in here a lot. Tell me how I'm dead wrong. Violent crime rate, by the way, violent crime rate. You hate white people. You're racist. Even though I'm white, huh? Interesting. What do you think I am by just out of curiosity? What do you think I am? Think I'm Mexican or something? Yesterday I had a guy who thought I was Mexican. Yeah, show me which Epstein emails have a pizza reference, and show me proof that that's in any way, shape, or form code for pedophilia. So, in other words, if in the Epstein files it says pizza, then to you lunatics, it's, oh my God, Pizzagate. Yeah, I kind of feel like Trump have been the three worst consecutive terms by far. That's why the country is so fucked now. Well, listen, I'll tell you this. I understand why you think that. And no offense to you, but it's because it's a lack of information. Joe Biden was one of the most effective presidents in American history. 154 presidential scholars voted him the 14th best president, and Donald Trump the worst. And that's independent conservatives and liberals. Because Joe Biden passed the American Rescue Plan, which got all of us stimulus checks, which stimulated the economy. That was the first step after COVID to help things out. Although he was hit with 9% inflation, which any president, whether it was Trump probably would have had higher because he's a fuck up, but any president would have been hit with the same COVID-related inflation. Every nation on earth got hit with massive inflation because of COVID. So he did the Chips and Science Act, which brought a lot of jobs to America. He did the Inflation Reduction Act, which created 750,000 manufacturing jobs. He did the PACT Act, which increased funding to the VA and helped people, veterans of ours that served in Afghanistan and stuff and were affected by burn pits. He did the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He did the Butch-Lewis Act. He did a whole bunch of stuff. It was very good. Plus, he brought that 9% inflation down to 2.7%. And he brought Trump's 6.6% unemployment rate down to 3.4%, which is a 54-year low. And it stayed under 4% for the longest time in American history. So there's that stuff. No, it's not. I've been reading it all morning. He didn't report him to the police. He called the police after they already made it public that they were investigating Epstein for child sex crimes. He called the chief of police. The phone call is documented. You could listen to it. And he said, thank you so much for getting that guy. We all knew what he was up to for years, and I'm glad you stopped him. And that was simply a preemptive phone call. Let me try to clear myself before they start looking at me. He never gave information. There is no proof that he ever gave any law enforcement information about Jeffrey Epstein. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like and subscribe. Oh, God, I'm having issues here. And if you can, please donate to the show. If you can do a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chat, Super Sticker. Except it's all true, Edward, so it's not propaganda by definition. You never got any stimulus checks from Biden? Yes, you did. You just don't know it. You could look up the American Rescue Plan. I didn't say he was the best. 154 presidential scholars said he was the 14th best. And that Trump was the worst. Having issues, guys. Biden was fantastic, A+ grade. He was good. Well, but that's just your opinion. That's how you feel. But according to facts, and of course, experts in the field, presidential scholars, he wasn't. Trump was. And I bet you, Noel, I bet you don't even know anything about either of their administrations, Trump or Biden. Like if I asked you your favorite Trump policy, you would say the border or trans. That's it. You don't even know any of his policies. You certainly don't know Biden's. Trump did stimulus checks. I never got one from Biden. Yes, you did. Yeah. When did you hear me say Biden was the best? Are you guys fucking hearing things again? The fuck? Scholars. I know. Scholars who are experts in their field, their opinion definitely doesn't matter as much as a bunch of fucktards from redneck states who just feel like You know, Biden was the worst and Trump was the best. Their opinion is meaningless. It's the same thing. Like if a doctor told me I needed brain surgery, God forbid, I would say, well, I'm going to have to check with MAGA first because they're definitely more knowledgeable than you. I know you went to school for years and years in medical school and everything else, but I want to base my chances of living on MAGA's knowledge of brain surgery. Because we criticize them. Let me explain, Roman. And by the way, Donald Trump's approval ratings are in the fucking toilet, right along with the Democrats. What you got to look at is the fact that Democrats are flipping seats all over the country, flipping red seats all over the country and have been since November. And there's no question, even Trump said it himself, he knows the Democrats will win the midterms because it always goes to the other party, the midterms, like 95% of the time. And plus, he knows that he's, fucked everything up. He knows. And inflation is where it was when Biden left office. He didn't lower that. Grocery prices are up. Gas prices are down in eggs. That's it. That has nothing to do with Trump. So groceries are up. Unemployment is up. Unemployment's up the highest it's been since COVID. Utilities are through the fucking roof. Everything costs more. New cars, rents, mortgages, everything is more expensive under Donald Trump. So he knows he fucked everything up. And now the Epstein files, the people in this country with brains who aren't brainwashed, they know he's a pedo, so he's got problems. But what was I gonna yeah, he did. Oh, another thing I was gonna say about the polling. If you look at Donald Trump's polling amongst independents and Democrats, it is always in the fucking toilet. It's horrible. But Republicans, it's like 85, 90%, 70%. And the reason is you guys, the majority of you, the MAGA base, not just Trump supporters in general, the MAGA base who are truly brainwashed and will never admit that he's wrong, you will always approve of the job he's doing. Even if you could look it up now and see, wow, unemployment has soared under Donald Trump, you'll just say it didn't. You will convince yourself it didn't, even though as a matter of fact, it did. So you will never go against him and say you disapprove of him. And that's why he'll keep, decent approval ratings only among Republicans. As far as us, we will disapprove of our own party anytime. If we don't think they're doing a good job, we're not brainwashed. We won't say, yes, they're doing good, even when they're not doing good. So that's why they have a low approval rating. That's why. He did. Epstein said Trump is a man with no scruples. Yep. Oh, good. Thanks, man. Because a guy yesterday said I was either Puerto Rican or Mexican. Unemployment is up to 2009 levels after the housing crash. It is. GOP is a pedo ring. Certainly is. It's funny you assume that the majority of the country is brainwashed, not the minority of the people that are rejects like you. I get no respect. You get no respect, I believe it, that have no intellectual points to prove anything, except all the ones I've been mentioning on this show. And you could call in right now and debate me, NW Blast. 410-941-9850. Yeah, that's another thing you've been fooled into believing. Trump lost, I think, 110,000 manufacturing jobs in January. Yeah. We've had well over 1 million layoffs since he took fucking office. Yeah. Non-farm payroll jobs. Look him up and see how he's doing. It's hilarious you talk about education, but these people are getting used degrees in queer gender theory, but the guys out here welding, doing headache, plumbing, electrician are dumb. I didn't say they're dumb at all. I never said that. What you don't get is, it's another thing you've been brainwashed into believing. Anybody in school, in college, must be getting a degree in queer gender theory, which I don't even think that's a thing. But none of them are in school for like economics, political science, none of that stuff, right? This is why college graduates are more knowledgeable about politics, is because they learn things like that. You know, what I will say is the Republican Party is constantly telling you guys not to go to college or send your kids to college, even though all of them went to college and sent their kids to college. I got a fucking tickle in my throat that will not fucking go away. Holy shit. Anyway, they do that for a very simple reason. They need an uneducated electorate. So yeah, they tell you don't go to college and be able to sit in an office as an executive and make 400 grand a fucking year and have everything you want in life. Become a plumber, become a welder, you know, do just what'll get you a basic, decent middle class income, because they don't want educated people and they don't want wealthy people. They want the dumbest, poorest people. It's always been that way, guys. That's why they literally tell you guys don't go to colleges and universities or send your kids there. And they all graduated from Harvard, Yale, like, and they all send their kids to colleges. Oh, shit. Anyone else want to donate? Because I'd appreciate it very much. Super chat, super sticker, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Please hit the like, guys, and subscribe. I want to get another 20 subs right now, if you can do it. If you could do it. Let's see. I'm doing a good job here, guys. Help me out. Not the bad guys, just the good guys. 1349. Oh, shit. 89. I got a lot already. All right, I need 20 more subs, guys. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Very important. Very, very important. There's 2 more. Need 18 more. Most people where I live that have college education make less money than plumbing. Well, you said it best. I mean, where you live, you know, so it's on the grand scale of things, it doesn't really mean anything, because if you look it up, if you look at the stats, people with college educations make more money than people without them. So imagine being so inbred that you think Trump is working for you. I know, man. It's so funny because Dave Chappelle said when Trump won I think it was the first time on Saturday Night Live, he said about the white poor people in the country and how they were running around talking about, yeah, he's in office to help us. And Dave Chappelle said, he ain't in office to help you. He's in office to help me, meaning not black, but millionaires. And that's what he's in office. Do you know that Donald Trump said the other day, and if you don't believe me, I will play you the video. Donald Trump said the other day that he doesn't want to, even though he said he would lower housing costs, he doesn't want to lower the cost of homes. He doesn't. He wants to increase the cost of homes. And this is the reason he said, because I don't want people that haven't worked hard enough to be able to buy these homes. So in other words, if you're not rich, it's no fault, it's your fault 100%. It's simply because you didn't work hard enough. So he doesn't want you to be able to afford a house. He said that the other day. Even though he told you he was going to lower housing costs, he said the other day, I don't want to decrease home values. I want to increase them. So people that didn't work hard enough, you know, I don't want to decrease them just so people who didn't work hard enough can buy a house. So that's your guy who's working for the poor people. And he has been the Cryptid Commission. Are you saying he hasn't been incriminated? Did you see the accusations against him? There's no examples. Love to ignore what they actually said and twist. I don't know what you're talking about. He just wants to pardon Maxwell the pedo. He's going to do that, no question. Yeah. I highly doubt that. Foreign truck drivers? Okay. Well, that's a very specific group. Okay. Obama for prison. Well, what crime did he commit exactly? Would you tell me, the Cryptid Commission? Trump distanced himself a long time ago from Epstein. No, he didn't. December 28th of 2017, he went to dinner with Donald Trump, Epstein, Donald Trump, and some other people. And there's an email from Epstein to Michael Wolff from the next day, where he said, last night, some people at dinner were very concerned about Donald, the makeup, the forgetfulness, forgetting, people that he's known in the past, which goes right along with what we see from Trump every day. He's losing his marbles. So he went to dinner with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017. As did Biden, Obama, and Clinton. So what's your point? As did what about them? What do you mean? As did what? What are you talking about? You didn't think the Clintons, the Obamas, and any other elitists knew exactly what was going on in that island, then you're a big fool. Well, first of all, I never said that, but the Obamas, no. And of course, there is no proof that they did. They're not even in the files. Clinton's in the files. Trump is in the files. In some accusations, they're in the files together for committing the same crimes against the same people. So I don't know what your point is. Oh yeah, who says who? Random Center says who? He might have. Yeah, I'm not here to stand up for Clinton. Yeah, he might have. Obama was never in the files. No. Knew about Epstein, dipshit. Well, that's just you assuming that. You have no proof of that. You just assume. So did Biden and Obama, and you just assume that. But you don't know anything for sure. What we know for sure is that Clinton and Epstein or Trump are in the Epstein files. Or should I say Clinton and Epstein are in the Trump files. Trump is named 38,000 times in 5,400 different documents in the Epstein files. Travis, you say that every day and it never happens. Oh, did he really? The working poor, you mean that 24 million people even right now have health insurance only because of Obamacare? Gotcha. Where does Mike Wolff fit in? Mike Wolff was writing Epstein's book, whatever the fuck book it was. He was writing it. So they were in contact. If you look at those 30,000 emails, there's tons of them where Epstein is talking to Ghislaine Maxwell and Michael Wolff about Trump. Like the one where he said Trump is the dog that didn't bark yet, meaning they were shocked that Trump is the one person that hadn't told on them yet. It's right there in the files. One of the emails also said Trump knew about the girls. He spent hours alone at my house with victim. So I mean, it's your willful ignorance that keeps you from believing he's in the files. You refuse to believe it, no matter how much evidence you're shown. Michelle Obama is a man. Say whatever you want, but she's not. I mean, that's what I mean about you guys is that I could show you evidence of facts, right? I could put it right in front of your face and you'll be like, nope. But then you'll just take a woman and say she's a man with no reason to say that other than Obama one time said, me and Michael would like to thank you. And he was talking about a guy from it was either FEMA or the Department of Homeland Security. I believe it was FEMA because there was just some, natural disaster somewhere. So he was talking about a guy named Michael, not his wife. Guys are so dumb. Show me his crimes. What do you mean? Like you want me to take you back in the DeLorean and show you, or you want me to read you the accusations? Which one? Obama's in the Diddy files. Yeah, except he's not. But Trump probably is if there are Diddy files, because I could show you at least 36 different pictures of Trump and sometimes Trump and Melania with Diddy, but none of Obama and Diddy. Oh, okay, Easy C91. 410-941-9850. Destroy me. I dare you. Call up right now, 410-941-9850. Yeah, Mike Wolff is in the file because he was the author of the book. Yes. Stop lying. Trump was not in the files committing any crimes against women, but Clinton sure was. Trump was in the files numerous times for graping 13-year-old girls, for forcing them to perform oral on him and stuff like that. Numerous. I have the files. I can read them to you if you want. No. There's nothing of the sort. Oh, wait. Looking for ways to get in with Trump because he wasn't in with Trump. He was constantly looking for ways to get in with Trump. No, nothing of the sort. He was always in with Trump. Guys, they were best friends in the 90s. Jeffrey Epstein is on a recording talking about his 10-year-long friendship, that they were best friends for 10 years. I mean, not to mention the pictures of them, the videos of them together. Donald Trump saying, I really like Jeffrey Epstein. This is in 2000. I really like Jeffrey Epstein. He's a great guy to be with, which is weird to word it that way. It's even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Now, if he's talking about a regular guy, younger probably means 19, 20. But if he's talking about the most prolific pedophile in American history, he's talking about children. Gabbard called Trump during raid in Georgia. I know. 199 college grads get paid more due to government subsidies. Yeah, sure. Thank you for the 199, but come on, man. It's not because of their college education that they've learned enough to get a better paying job, right? And I'm not even a college graduate, but come on, guys. You sound dumb, man. You want this to be true so bad. Epstein was a rich guy and was near literally everyone of relevance, except that Donald Trump is in the files more than anyone else. He was in the 30,000 emails more than anyone else. He's the only one we have a lot of pictures and videos of him with Epstein. He's the only one that made a comment like that about Epstein. So, guys, when you say literally everyone of relevance, you're just guessing. Tell me the names. Tell me who. Tell me everyone of relevance. I want to know. Give me the list. I'll wait. Watch. And by the way, none of you called in, you bunch of fucking pussies. I'm so stupid you could all beat me in a debate, but none of you will actually debate me. Yeah. Where's the crime? The crime is the things he was accused of in the files. They're crimes. Don't spam the chat. You're going to get blocked. For decades, I ran a goat pageant. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Look at what Tia wrote through her comments. Let me read it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go through Tia's comments. Hypothetically, there's a good question. Listen, if someone was accused of having sex with goats by over 30 different people and regularly denied it, but also dropped very public hints about how much he liked having sex with goats for decades and ran a goat pageant to find the best looking goats and was best friends with someone who got convicted of fucking goats and trafficking goats to friends all over the world who also like to fuck goats. And his name was in the classified goat fucker chronicles over 5,000 times. And he wished other goat fuckers well in prison. What do you think the odds are that this person is? I don't think she wrote it yet, but also a goat fucker. It's a good analogy. Honestly, it sounds stupid, but everything in Trump's past says that he's a pedophile and that he committed crimes with Epstein. But you guys just don't want to see it,
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2000.
Before I play that, guys, please hit the like. There's 636 people, so it's very important you hit the like button ASAP. Subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it very much. And of course, the most important thing, if you can, no pressure, but if you're enjoying the show and you like what I have to say and you agree with me or whatever else, please donate to the show. You could do it by Super Chat or my Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal are in the chat. It would help greatly. It would make it possible and worth it for me to do more of these shows and continue annihilating scumbags. So thank you.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
Your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of it.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
What does Tiffany have of Marlon?
She's got Marlon's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this blood yet.
You were playing tennis and you came off the court. Quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that. It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha.
I had the impression that he was interested in younger women and that, you know, women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I standing there with no sweat.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Prince Andrew answering questions for the first time about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story.
Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000.
Ghislaine Maxwell is accused of helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
So, yeah, and looking at a 10-year-old girl and saying I'll be dating her in 10 years, there's nothing at all pedo-like about that. Anybody would say that, right? Anybody would look at a 10-year-old girl and say, wow, I'm so attracted to her. I want to be dating her in 10 years. Now, that's what a pedo does. That's what, and not to mention the constant talking about wanting to fuck his own daughter. Oh my God. It's fucking, ugh. You know what informants do, right? They make deals with law enforcement to turn on people so they themselves get out of crime. So if Donald wasn't involved, why did he need to be an informant? Yeah, he wasn't an informant, Daniel. Listen, he wasn't. This is just something you guys made up. Trump never said he was an informant. Nobody ever said he was an informant. Nobody. This is, again, even what we found out today, that he called the police about Epstein. And the phone calls recorded. All he did was call the chief of police after it was made public that Epstein is being investigated for all this shit. And he said, oh, I just want to thank you guys for doing a good job and stopping this guy, because we all knew about his crimes for years. So that's Trump admitting he knew Epstein was a pedo, and he was friends with Epstein for years, just a couple of years before he made that call. And it was just a preemptive call to basically try to clear his own name, make it look like, oh, well, he's calling me to thank me about stopping Epstein. He's probably not involved. So there is no proof under the fucking sun that Donald Trump was ever an informant or ever gave any information to law enforcement about Jeffrey Epstein. It's just something you guys say. Yeah, Epstein had 15 different phone numbers in his little black book for Trump. Yeah, he did. I know, me neither, Braps Booze. I can make a video in 10 showing this guy in the same video, and I'm not in Hollywood. Well, yeah, but it would be a fake video. Even you said it yourself. You can make it. Those videos, that's just a compilation of clips put together. And if any of those clips, you could look them up online and get the full clip. So say the one where he talks about his 4-year-old daughter, Tiffany, how big her titties might turn out to be. That was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You can look that up. The clip where he said on Howard Stern, where he said, my daughter's always been very voluptuous, and he allowed Howard Stern to call her a piece of ass. You can look that clip up. I heard it live when it happened decades ago. Okay. The part where he looked at a 10-year-old girl and said, I'll be dating her in 10 years. That's from Entertainment Tonight. He did that in 1992. He said, I'll be dating her. He looked at a group of little girls. There was one in a pink jacket. He said, you see her? I'll be dating her in 10 years. So none of that's AI. None of it's made up. You can go look it up right now. Any of those clips. Yes. Guilt by association. If my best friend, first of all, if my best friend ever got caught up, if I even heard a rumor that he's a pedophile, he's no longer my best friend. I don't keep people like that around me. I never would. But yes, if you hang out with a guy knowing full well that he's a pedophile, then at the very least you condone pedophilia. So yes, the answer is yes. Well, he never sniffed kids. That was just a doctored video. But of course I did. The other guy was Trump. Why wouldn't I have? I don't make anything up, Edward. Test me, challenge me on anything I've said, and I'll show you it's a fact. So innocent until proven guilty doesn't exist for you. Well, I'm not a court of law. So no, I'm not a court of law. I don't require 12 jurors to give me an opinion. I've seen some of the stuff I showed you and tons more. Plus, I know that long before Trump ever ran for president, he was settling sexual assault lawsuits. He was accused of sexual assault 28 times since the 1970s, including in 1989 by his wife, Ivana, who said that he brutally raped her at one point. And in 1996, accused by Katie Johnson of brutally raping her with Epstein on multiple occasions. And there are witnesses who corroborated her story and that they were there and they saw it take place. Plus, he was found civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll by a jury of his peers that was picked in part by his own lawyers. Yeah. And I see all that stuff. There's another clip from The View where you could look this up, where they ask him, Donald, what do you have in common with your daughter? And he said, well, I was going to say sex. Well, you just said sex. What do you mean you were going to say it? Why would you say sex? He's also said she has a beautiful figure, and perhaps if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. He said, I've always said, if perhaps she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Okay? I mean, yeah, I can come to my own opinion, and he definitely is a pedophile. There's no question about it. And then add to it the fact that he's best friends with the guy for 10 fucking years, and then later admits he knew about it the whole time. I'll make me guilty? No. Because if I had no knowledge of it, no, Gregory. But we've established that Trump had knowledge of it. He said to a police chief, guys, pay attention to the news today, not Fox News, the real news. He said, it's been found in the Epstein files in 2007, for fuck's sake. After it became public information that the FBI was investigating Epstein for his crimes, Donald Trump called the chief of police to thank him for stopping Epstein and said, we've known about what he was up to for years. So yeah, if I have knowledge that my friend is a pedo and I'm still his friend, you might as well consider me one too. And that's why I would never be. Absolutely. Listen, I hung out with a lot of drug dealers in my life. You know why? I was a drug dealer. Okay. Yeah. When there's smoke, there's fire. You can look at a person's friend group and figure out what he's all about without a doubt. Well, The View isn't the source. Donald Trump is the source. He used to go on The View all the time. I don't know if you know that. And on The View, they asked Ivanka, him and Ivanka were on there. They said, Ivanka, what are two things you have in common with your dad, Donald? And she said, I would have to say real estate and golf. And then they said, Donald, what do you have in common with your daughter? And he said, well, I was going to say sex, but I can't really relate that. But you just said sex, and whether you can relate it or not, to even think of sex in relation to your daughter. I'm a father. Never in a million fucking years have I looked at my daughter and said, damn, she's hot. Regular people don't look at their kids that way. No regular man would ever say, my daughter is very voluptuous. She's always had a nice figure. And I've always said, if she wasn't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. That means he's put thought into it. And he said, Ivanka looks so good. If she wasn't my daughter, I'd fuck the shit out of her. Okay. That's insane. All right, he didn't turn him in. He never turned him in. It's bullshit. It never happened. You guys can search it, research it, do whatever you'd like. He never turned him in. Let me see. Bro, go touch some hair, Baldy. It's the best you guys can come up with. You know that I'm aware I'm bald, right? And a lot of men are. Many. It's really not uncommon. Stupid ass. Yeah, she said shut up and laughed nervously. Yes. Yeah, because even she was creeped out by it. All right, guys. I gotta go because I got shit to do. And I did not expect to do a 2-hour show, although I wound up doing that somehow anyway. It happens a lot. I appreciate you guys. Hold on, bald and little. Yeah, I'm not little by any stretch of the imagination, Pensacola, by any stretch of the imagination. But I gotta go live my life. So I'll probably do another one of these later. We'll see. I don't know. If so, it'll be around 6:30ish. Thanks for everything, guys. Peace.